Hi, I'm Jackie Mwangi, and I'm glad you could join us today. So today I'll be talking about something that could be ruining your business, and it falls in the line of the inputs that you put into your life as the owner of or the manager of a business every single day. And this is our cell phone. Almost all of us have one. I was just about to say all of us have one, but almost all of us have one. Let me just take it that there are a few exceptions out there. And the thing with the cell phone is it came into this world to help us multitask and to help us improve our lives. But it's a double-edged sword, and I would like to explain to you why, especially in business. Now, when it comes to building a business, you do require to be very clear about your business, to help guide your team, build a culture, and all these things that take a lot of focus. And the thing with the phone is that it builds this habit that we have where we begin to behave very unconsciously around our phone. And every time you hear like a ding, you're like, when you see notifications, you see that red circle on the application, you have an unread notification, and it almost drives you crazy where you really just have to look at it. And I remember one time my phone had, because I've got the Gmail app and I don't check my spam or whatever. So I had like 3,000 unread emails and the notifications were on, and somebody was so disturbed they could not understand why I don't read like all the emails that I subscribe to, all these, newsletters that I get. And that's what builds up the 3,000 emails. I don't read them, and the other day I actually just decided, just unsubscribe and delete them. So somebody was really bothered, like it would drive me crazy if I have notifications showing that I have unread emails. And that's the thing that we don't realize. It's become so habitual to look at our cell phones, to react to them as opposed to responding, that it interferes with the entire day. And it's very hard for you to get into the zone when half the time your phone is buzzing and it's lighting up and there are all these notifications every time you look at it. And the thing is, the cell phone is actually addictive because it produces, and this is science and it's scientifically proven, every ding produces dopamine. It produces dopamine in your system, and that's the same hormone that a drug user actually gets. That rush of dopamine, that's the same thing that a gambler gets when they win, or when you hear the clunk of do you call those machines in the casino, those ones? You know what I mean. Every time like a person who's addicted to gambling and hears that sound, they get a rush of dopamine, and that's what you also get every time there's like a ding or a notification. And that's why it's so addictive and so mindless when you're doing it, because it's been built into a habit. And it's even worse when you're the CEO of a company and you're in a meeting, and half the time you keep checking your phone because it keeps lighting up, or it rings or it vibrates, and you're like, you look at it and you're thinking, okay, I'm not going to answer it, I'll call them back. And you send them a text saying, I'll call you back. But you've actually interrupted the flow of the person who was talking to you. If you're my friend, I really can't, I'm not a fan of this, but I really don't like sitting with a friend and we're supposed to be catching up. And half the time they keep looking at their phone, responding to messages from other people, or picking up calls and telling the person they'll call them back. I find that so irritating, that if you're hanging out with me and then suddenly I'm like, yeah, so I've got to run, it's because you obviously don't value this conversation. And it goes to your work as well. If you value the work that you're doing, the company that you're building, if you really value your customers, you'll want to give them time. Dedicate time when you do not look at your phone, so that you can actually do deep work and do better work and get better results for your clients. So I want you to look at your cell phone differently. Look at it look at how many times you constantly keep looking at it. And there are these apps that you can even download that will tell you how much, standby time or whatever time you're getting on your phone. But it's really interesting to see how much time you spend just looking at the phone. And sometimes you're just like, oh, I'm looking at it because I'm looking at the time. Get a watch. You don't have to look at your phone to look at the time. That just means that when you're looking at the time and you see, oh, it's 3 o'clock, and then you see a notification from someone, and then you have to open, or you see a chat on a WhatsApp group that you want to get involved in, and then you completely forget that you were in the middle of doing some work, and 30 minutes later you're still like laughing and giggling at these memes that are being sent to you, and you're not doing the work that you're supposed to be doing that will help you achieve the goals that you've set out to do. So look at your phone differently. Don't let it control your life. And for the sake of your business, because this is especially important, I'm talking to the business people out there. I'm talking to the managers and leaders of organizations. It's so bad when you're in a meeting with your people and you're like constantly just checking your phone, or your phone keeps interrupting a meaningful conversation you're having with somebody, or when somebody wants to tell you something and you're distracted half the time because you're on your phone. It's really annoying for the other person as well. So if you're having a conversation, if there's an emergency or any possibility of one, if you have a PA, give your phone to your PA and tell them, in case this person calls, bring me the phone, or give it to somebody at your work, give it to your colleague and tell them, in case your phone rings, this particular person rings, let that call come through, but no other call should come through. Put your phone off. I mean, unless you're a doctor where you're dealing with the possibility of somebody dying, or a firefighter, you really can afford to just have a 1 hour period when your phone is on silent, in a drawer, maybe even in a different room, as you're having a meeting with somebody, or as you're doing some deep work for your customers that will help you improve your product or improve yourself. So that's my message for you today. Look at that habit that we all have. Look at other people who have that habit and see how, whether they're successful or not. Like the people who are constantly on their phone, constantly reacting to notifications and messages. It's not just, you can actually see there's a lot of time we waste in our day that we don't realize that can be invested in doing things that we actually intentionally plan to do. So instead of spending all your time on your phone, you spend that time doing some deep work. So you remove, something huge from your to-do list, and you can spend that time that you'd have been spending checking out your phone and working extended hours because you spent so much time distracted during the day. You can now spend it on holiday. You can spend it hanging out with people who you actually enjoy speaking to, who are not on their phones all the time. And you can actually, get more value out of your life. And, one of the things that I do to help me do that is I put my phone on silent, put it in a drawer, so that it's even away from me. I don't get the temptation from having it right in front of me and thinking, okay, I'm not gonna check now, I'm not gonna check. Then it becomes a strain and a distraction. So I put it away so I don't even see it. Sometimes I put it on silent if I know I'm not expecting any important calls and I need to do deep work. And then I schedule the times that I get to check my phone. So I schedule it like a particular time in the day, not at random times. Like I'll schedule it I'll not check my phone before 10 o'clock. And then 10 o'clock, I'll do like half an hour where I check my phone, can distract myself, make phone calls, do whatever I want. Half an hour later, put the phone away, put it in a drawer, don't look at it, put it on silent so that it doesn't distract me, and it enables me to do some really deep work. And that's how I'm able to spend time making this content for you, because I get distracted less these days than I used to. So I hope this is of value to somebody out there. Let me know if you find that experiment. Run it as an experiment actually for 2 weeks and see what you get out of it. And let me know the results.